Namaskar. Today, I, Pratibha Chaudhary, Additional Director, Publicity, Directorate of Public Relations, Publications and Publicity, CBDT, New Delhi, welcome you to another episode in this special Samvaad Series on the new income tax forms. Committed to enhancing the ease of compliance for taxpayers and streamlining processes, the Income Tax Department has introduced, as part of this endeavor, new and simplified forms under the Income Tax Rules 2026, which would be operative from 1st of April 2026 onwards. The simplified forms will benefit all stakeholders and will help in fostering a more efficient and compliant tax ecosystem. Though all forms have undergone the above mentioned changes for the purpose of this taxpayer information series, we have taken key forms that have been found to either most frequently used forms or the forms which have undergone business process reengineering. In this episode, we shall be discussing the form that have been made in this form. We have with us here today Shri Anurag Sahay sir, IRS, presently posted as Chief Commissioner Income Tax, Central 1, Delhi. Sir is an officer of the Indian Revenue Services of the 1991 batch, having experience of more than 35 years across many verticals. Sir was core member of the drafting committee of the Income Tax Rules Forms 2026. Sir was instrumental in drafting of the new form and has added his 35 years of experience in simplifying this form for ease of all stakeholders. Namaskar sir, thank you very much sir for joining us today in this special series of Samvaad.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Sir, the Income Tax Department has introduced simplified tax forms under the Income Tax Rules 2026. Could you briefly explain the objective behind this initiative?
Yes, the primary objective of introducing simplified tax forms is to enhance ease of compliance, transparency, and accuracy. These forms use simpler language, standardized formats, and extensive pre-filing supported by technology-driven processes. This reduces manual errors and will ultimately result in ease in compliance for all the stakeholders.
Sir, though all forms under Income Tax Rules 2026 are important, can you please tell our viewers what importance this form holds for them?
This form is very significant because it is filed by non-profit organizations seeking provisional registration or provisional approval under the Income Tax Act 2025. Every year, over 1.2 lakh applications are filed using the Erstwhile form. By simplifying this form, we primarily aim to make the registration process easier, faster, and more transparent for charitable and religious institutions.
Sir, could you explain the purpose of this form in simple terms?
Certainly, this is a common application form used for two purposes. Number one, provisional registration under Section 332, subsection 3 of the Income Tax Act 2025 for non-profit organizations that want to claim benefits available to registered NPOs. And number two, provisional approval under Section 354, subsection 2 for registered non-profit organizations or specified funds, so that donation received by them become eligible for deduction under Section 133(1)(b) of the Income Tax Act 2025. Now, this section is analogous to the approval under erstwhile Section 80G of the Income Tax Act 1961. So, in short, this new form enables non-profit entities to formally enter the tax framework and enjoy statutory benefits of a registered non-profit organization.
Sir, who are the applicants required to file this new form?
There can be two categories of applicants. Category number one are those public trusts, societies, non-profit companies, or other entities as specifically mentioned in Section 332 of the Income Tax Act 2025, whose activities have not yet commenced and who have never been registered earlier either under the Income Tax Act 1961 or Income Tax Act 2025. These organizations must meet further conditions such as being established in India for charitable or religious purposes, and their properties are held for the benefit of general public under an irrevocable trust. The second category of applicants are registered non-profit organizations or regimental non-public funds of the armed forces as referred in Schedule 7 of the Act, which seek provisional approval to solicit public funds on which donors can claim tax deduction on their donations. For both these categories, forms must be filed electronically through the e-filing portal to the Commissioner of Income Tax, CPC.
Sir, could you walk us through the structure of the new form?
Yes, the new form is logically structured and user-friendly. We have paid a lot of emphasis on the design of the form, and it broadly consists of two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A deals with personal information, name, permanent account number, and address of the applicant, whereas Part B includes other information which has opening qualifying questions such as whether the applicant is created under an instrument, whether it is irrevocable, whether any previous application was rejected, whether public religious expenditure exceeds 5% of the total income. Now, these are very simple questions for the applicant non-profit organization to answer. The form further seeks details of incorporation or constitution, nature and objects of the activities, the details of existing registration under other laws such as FCRA, Darpan ID, etc. We further seek details of office bearers and beneficial ownership of the non-profit organization and information whether the return of income was filed for the last tax year. It would be important to note here that this form captures only essential and relevant information, avoiding unnecessary disclosures.
Sir, what is the time limit for filing this form and how long is the registration valid?
The application can be filed at any time during the tax year for which provisional registration or provisional approval is sought. Once granted, the provisional registration or provisional approval remains valid for 3 tax years, starting from the tax year in which application is made. I may like to mention here that the basic philosophy in much of what Income Tax Department does is to trust the taxpayers. Hence, this provisional registration or provisional approval is granted through a completely automated process, trusting the authenticity of the information furnished by the applicant.
Sir, what documents are required to be uploaded while filing this form?
The documents required are simple and self-certified and include the trust deed or instrument of creation if applicable, registration certificates with relevant authorities such as Registrar of Companies, Registrar of Societies or Public Trust Authorities, details of FCRA registration, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010, and Darpan ID registration if applicable, copies of any earlier rejection or cancellation orders, annual accounts for up to last 3 tax years, but these are required only if the returns were not filed, and finally a brief note on the proposed activities. I must mention here that if the audited accounts are not available, even a self-certified nil declaration can be submitted.
Sir, what are the key features of the newly simplified form?
Some significant and important features of the new form includes: number one, and most primarily, significant reduction in the length and complexity of the form. Number two, removal of asset and liabilities details from the main form. Number three, elimination of income breakups and religious expenditure details. These changes have made the form cleaner, clearer, and more efficient.
Sir, how do these changes benefit non-profit organizations and other stakeholders?
The benefits are substantial. Number one, ease for new and small NPOs, especially first-time applicants. Number two, reduced initial disclosure burden, making entry into registered non-profit universe smoother. Number three, faster processing and fewer errors due to simplification. Number four, technology-enabled filing with auto-population of key details. So overall, the new form is smart and it promotes voluntary compliance amongst the NPOs.
Sir, what message would you like to give to non-profit organizations regarding this form?
I would encourage all eligible non-profit organizations to take advantage of this new simplified form. It has been designed to be user-friendly, transparent, and efficient, ensuring quicker access to statutory benefits with minimal compliance burden. We have also included a detailed guidance note along with the form to enhance the ease of compliance. This is a step towards building a trust-based, technology-driven tax ecosystem for the non-profit sector.
Thank you, sir, for coming today and taking time from your busy schedule. And this was my last question, sir. Thank you once again, sir. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Namaskar, Jai Hind.